Hi, what's up? Ooh, wow. Power cut for like 20 years. I don't even know when it ends. I don't care. So I was still talking about my new purchase. Absolutely love it. Speaker vibes. It's really loud. I would help you hear how loud it is, but I don't have anything to use to project the sound because my one cellular device is dead. Okay, and I'm using this thing, thank God, to charge my phone while you guys we talk. So I guess that's the multi-purposes that this thing has for me. Purchased this excellent speaker. I'm grateful. And with it, I'm going to dance, workout, start a fitness channel. I don't think it's going to be restricted only to dancing, guys. I want to go back to capoeira, but you know, I don't think I'm good enough at capoeira to be an instructor, but who knows, that'll happen in a year or two of me continuing in this way. But anything at all that I can use to get fitter and fitter and fitter, ultimately I'll be able to, hopefully, if I can monetize my exercise, join the gym and start doing weights and what have you. But it's basically my, at the present moment, only means of making bread, okay, making money, because that's what money is. Bread, it's food, it's clothes, it's new skincare, it's hair, it's just no poverty, whatever. That's what I intend to do. So when I came here initially, I was speaking about Russell Brand and how I was listening to a video of his where he was talking about the technologization of food, and I made a joke about how it is that South Africa is causing itself to live in the Stone Ages to a point where they are antithetical even to the Antichrist, in the sense that the Antichrist kind of needs electrical grids to work for the mark of the beast to operate, because it is a piece of technology. That's exactly what it is. It's a piece of technology, whether it is a chip or whatever. The Antichrist system cannot operate without some kind of a wireless network that integrates the brains of the zombies that take it with one another, that also transhumanizes people. If it's anything like Elon Musk's Neuralink, it is usable through technology, through internet. Basically, the internet of bodies is the mark of the beast. We know that today because we understand the advancements in technology that have made that a fact. Do you understand? And here it is that South Africa is so archaic, so backward, that even the Antichrist will be frustrated with it, because how in the world is my internet of bodies, South Africa, supposed to work all up in your world when there is no power 24 hours a day? What incentive are people going to have if they are going to have a malfunctional mark of the beast in their forehead or in their right hand? But that's just the thing. When I was at Game purchasing this excellent speaker, all right, when I was at Game, I walked in during a park hike, because I told you guys that in the earlier parts, if you were listening to me, that in the run-up to the park hike coming, I was languishing already. Do you understand? That there was going to be a park hike, and then the Lord gave me an idea to get a speaker, because these park hikes are ridiculous. And frankly, I was actually listening to a clippy game on ENCA, like a news network in this country, speaking about the park hike crisis in the nation and how it is that we're headed towards stage 8, whatever that means, okay? And I was like, what in the world am I going to do? Like, goodness, especially considering I'm going to struggle to do my edits, to get my content published, to get my content uploaded on social media. Do you understand? It's officially, no, is it 2 p.m? No, it's not. Yeah, it is. It is officially 2 p.m. because I have this Bible app on my phone that sends me a message every 2 hours. So it is officially 2 p.m. So it's officially been 6 hours now since the power left, and we are still in it, still riding it out. Wonder how long this one is gonna last. Yeah, they might claim that it's because the coals are wet or something, but my thing is, it's 2022. Why are you still using coal? Exactly. Moving on. This little clippy that I was watching on the news on my computer was speaking about stage 8 power cuts, and they were interviewing this white man, which made me realize that every person that has ever given this idea, this solution, that has been interviewed by a news channel has always been a white guy. And it made me put the pieces of the puzzle together to realize that South Africa, the black government in this land, is deliberately disregarding counsel concerning how to deal with the power cut crisis because it's coming from mostly white South Africa. Okay, they're still South African, but like nonetheless, right? This man was speaking about how it is that the load shedding crisis in the country would be a thing of the past if only they used wind and solar energy. Did not mention anything about hydropower, maybe because South Africa is in a drought right now, but wind and solar definitely were mentioned. And it's something that I have also been wondering, why in the world is the country not embarking on a similar strategy on an FTTH level? Essentially, it would require, the answer that I got was that the government would have to enter into contracts, multiple ones at that, with independent IPCCs, independent contractors that provide these services in order to power up the entire nation. That contract is not just a contract like building a skyscraper in the middle of downtown Joburg that is going to be a tourist attraction. It is a fixing of basically an artery, a jugular vein in the nation that is currently ruptured. And if you fix it, whoever is going to gain the credit for doing that is basically going to gain a whole bunch of political clout in the country. And black South Africa, no, not black South Africa, okay, like South Africans on the ground, just like the Iranians on the ground, are not to blame for their stupid regime, their stupid government that's killing everybody for not wearing a hijab or something, right? South Africans on the ground are being subjugated to the tyranny of a black government that took over the reins, basically, presidency, and ever since then they've been so antagonized to the prospect of ever again having a white president in the country that they are prepared to throw the country to the dogs, let it drown at the Jiscay River, just like those parishioners in a church, and let them get flown away into obscurity, living like Fred and Wilma Flintstones in the Stone Age, just because it grates them too greatly, too richly, too deeply to ever consider giving any kind of political clout heavy enough gratitude being awarded to a white conglomerate, because that just might send us back to the days of apartheid. Are you serious? Like, are you serious? Like, what are the odds? Like, what are the chances that South Africa will ever go back to Group Areas Act, Bantu Educate? Like, what are the odds? Like, can you be so scared of white supremacy ever rearing its ugly head again that you would refuse to listen to a bunch of innovative white people that are genuinely giving good counsel to a country that they love, that they want to stay in, that they don't want to have to emigrate out of, because they're white, and because if they successfully somehow prospered to fix this jugular vein of ours that is bleeding out in the country, that they would gain so much political clout that even the black voting masses that have alleged their loyalty to the ANC might actually change their minds and decide not to vote for the ANC anymore. That if some white party rose up, and even then it's not so much a white party but just a party but full of a bunch of white men, if at all they were able to gain the trust of the impoverished, lowly among South Africa that make up the black clump masses that keep on voting for the ANC despite their indiscretions on the ground, they are so scared of losing that voter mass that they are happy to run us through 6-hour power cuts just so they don't have to take advice from white people who, if they fix the jugular vein of this country, they will stand to potentially be voted into power again as president. Not so much white people, but a white face again as a president of the land. South Africa is so antagonistic to the prospect of ever again having a white president that they are happy to let this thing die, because the pioneers, paradigm shifting ones at that concerning the electrical infrastructure in this country just so happen to be majority white. It's white men, it's white engineers, the great majority of them, that have got these independent companies that can indeed revolutionize the power crisis in this country, and the ANC government refuses to let them fix the situation by awarding them contracts to essentially uproot electrical infrastructure in this country and replace it with solar or wind power, because of the fact that Eskom has been run into the ground, they seem to forget, by a couple of white folk as well. So this is not even a race issue, and here it is that they are throwing money into sunken costs. I don't know how many times I've heard on the news that Eskom is about to become similar to South African Airways, that it will have to keep on getting bailed out, and while they're getting bailed out, we're going to be dealing with 24-hour power cuts when there is a feasible solution on the other side that we can run with. But because South Africa is too freaked out at ever having a white president again, because they've got an irrational fear of apartheid again, they are literally allowing themselves to live in the dark 24 hours a day. All the best. Next part.